Daily Show, 10:10. Oh, I'm on time. How about that?
Oh.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I am hanging. It is cold in this room.
It is cold. Yeah.
And when I felt bad because the whole the BJJ studio upstairs, they have no heat in that room, so I'm sure you warm up to it, but man, oh man, that's cold.
And sometimes it's hot down here.
Yeah, when they turn the boiler on, it takes about 14 weeks to cool off. Whole lot of problems. Lacy, how are you? How's the family? How was your how was your Thanksgiving?
Yeah, that was the last thing. It was nice. We were here. We hung out with my in-laws and my brother-in-law, and didn't have to try to travel in the weather, so that was good too.
That's really good.
How was yours?
Oh, great. Family, and bedtime. Just a lot of sleeping. A lot of sleeping. Yeah. There's not much more to that. I don't know. Every week you join us to take us back 100 years, this time 75 years, but for a good reason.
Yes. Okay, so a little bit of backstory. A little over a year ago, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, but it was very, very early stage. Stage 0, and we've talked a little bit about it. Treated it right away, and so I went through surgery and radiation. And now I'm fine. I take tamoxifen for the next 5 years.
That's right. You were telling me that.
Yeah, to prevent, I think it halves the risk of a reoccurrence. But one of the things that I did as I was working through my feelings about this, because it was a huge shock. I'm 41. I was 40 at the time. So it was not something that I expected. So anyway, one of the things I did was I knew that breast cancer had been much more of a death sentence in the past. So when I was diagnosed, I wasn't diagnosed in a way where I had to worry about the mortality of it all. Yeah. It was, you get this fixed and then you're fine. So it was very stressful and it was upsetting, but it wasn't horrific the way that breast cancer used to be in the past, a breast cancer diagnosis. But I wanted to know exactly what the statistics were versus what they are now. And so I started looking around, and the crazy thing was, the first thing I found in the Alton Telegraph, the first real thing where they were talking about breast cancer, was 1950, which was exactly 75 years ago.
Wow.
So I just kind of had this as the plan to do for November for a while. But it was really, it really makes you grateful because we've come so far with technological advances for so many medical issues. So in 1950, if you got a breast cancer diagnosis, more than half of women died within 5 years after that diagnosis. It was insane. And now it's in the 90s that live. So I started looking at it more. And one of the reasons that they were talking about it in 1950 is because the American Cancer Society and the National Cancer Institute of the U.S. Public Health Service had just produced a film called Breast Self-Examination that showed women how to do a breast self-exam so that if there were any issues, they could catch it early and they weren't just relying on an annual exam with their doctor to catch breast cancer.
Wow, that's really fascinating.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're right, though. I mean, there's so many times you can think back and go, wow, if only we had this type of medicine. Yeah. I'm sure so many of the lives that were lost could have been prevented. And,
yes.
No one really talks about, too, the fact it was brutal if you had any type of, especially breast cancer, because you were essentially, if you wanted to proceed with treatment back, especially more than 100 years ago, you were getting a lot different. I mean, you literally were getting mutilated.
Oh, absolutely. And it wasn't just the breast. They had to remove part of the chest
That's
wall.
why I hate to be graphic about it.
Right.
But I mean, you realize that and you go, wow, we have come a long way where, you're flipping an axis, not even just dying of the disease, but dying of even surgery related to treatment, Right.
Well, and the surgeries that are available now.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Versus at the time. So,
does that stick with you? Because, I mean, as someone that is ongoing and dealing with it, I mean, that's got to be kind of fascinating for you, and you're in your position too, and going, I'm actively dealing with this. I just battled, in early, thankfully an early stage, and I'm on, this pill for the next 5 years. But you look back and go, wow, I wonder if there's anyone else that was in my position or what that would have looked like, 75 or 100 years ago.
Well, they wouldn't have found it.
Yeah, that's so fascinating to me.
With what I had, it couldn't even be detected with an exam, a manual exam. It only could be detected with a mammogram. Mammograms didn't even really... They existed in some form, but until the 1960s, they weren't being used at least for detecting breast cancer. I mean, it was a long history. They did x-rays and stuff, but until the 1960s, they weren't really able to do a real mammogram the way that we think of it now. So in 1950, when this film came out, by touch was really the only real way you could find breast cancer. And so doctors would do it at a woman's annual exam. But I mean, if you have the exam and then you don't check anything for a year, you could have cancer that has spread throughout your body by the time that they really figured anything out. So doctors knew at the time that if they could detect the cancer earlier, way fewer women would die. So they knew that this was really important. And this was a way to bring women into the process and like help them find it early enough. And one of the things that emphasized in the film was that not all bumps, lumps, whatever are cancerous. So the point is you see what you can feel, and then you go to your doctor and you say, I'm worried about this. Is a problem. And so they really didn't want to terrify women. I mean, there was this balance of like trying to help people be informed, but not make it a scary thing. And so I thought that was really nice.
Well, and like even in this, and you shared the graphic is, I mean, even then early diagnosis increases the probability, and the, whole thing is to, show that, if you, even back then in 1950, I mean, they're showing that, hey, 90% of this could be, cured if you're,
right.
If you're in the early stages of detection. It's just fascinating though.
Yes.
Like the mindset on it has never changed, that if you find it early, you're good. It's just, the ways that we practice medicine have evolved so much that, it's becoming less and less evasive, which is great.
Yes. Yeah, you're exactly right. It's always been that the earlier you can find it, the better your chances of survival. But yeah, how we find it has changed over the years.
What I think is interesting, so folks would gather and show this movie off? Yeah.
So the first local showing was done at, where was it? Stratford, I think. It was at the Stratford Hotel, and it was done by the Madison County chapter of the American Cancer Society. And they had Audrey Campbell, who was the director of public education for the Illinois division, come down for the showing. And they had a doctor who could give a talk before the film and then do a question and answer session afterwards. So they invited area leaders, leaders of women's groups and stuff, to come see it. And then they kind of offered this film, and they put that in every description of the showings, because there were multiple showings in the area. It said, if you want to do this for your group, here's how you do it. Here's who you contact to do it. So, and then I really loved this. One of the showings was at the American Legion, for the American Legion Hall. The American Legion Auxiliary did it. They hosted a screening. Anyone was welcome. You didn't have to be part of the group. But they had Dr. Maybelle P. Williams address the group, and she was a female doctor, which was pretty rare for the time. And I really liked that too, because I think
is really
would have made a lot of the women more comfortable. I mean, this was something that some of them were uncomfortable even discussing with their doctor. So that was part of it too. It was like how to do a breast self-exam, but also how to talk to your own doctor about it when you were at your annual exam and not feel embarrassed about it.
Absolutely. You got a moment to take a quick break. Hey, before we do, just wanted to go into some quick breaking news this morning that we're following. Chris Rhodes is on the scene. Firefighters from multiple departments did respond to a shed and carport fire that threatened nearby homes in Roxana. Successfully contained the flames with no injuries reported. You're seeing that on your screen. That's part of it. The Roxana Fire Department did respond to this in the 200th block of West Tideman Street this morning. When firefighters arrived, they did encounter that heavy smoke you saw coming from that shed. A box alarm was called, and bringing in assistance from Wood River, South Roxana, and Rosewood Heights fire departments. Firefighters worked quickly to contain that blaze, which had spread to the back of the house. Meanwhile, the Edwardsville Fire Department did staff Roxana's fire station during the response. The cause of the fire is going to remain under investigation, but no injuries were reported. That's on part of our breaking news alert that just went out to all of your smartphones. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back with Lacy next.
What's up? It's my key. What's up, bro?
What's good, my guy?
back to spotlight other amazing alumni and how they discovered their path at Lewis and Clark. Let's jump into it. This is Dwight Wirtz, president of Wirtz Welding and Tank Service, the nation's premier distributor of tank trailer parts. Dwight has been an outspoken and long-time supporter of the college and is the current chairperson of Lewis and Clark Board of Trustees. Oh, and he's a Lewis and Clark grad.
I'm Dwight Wirtz, and I am a trailblazer.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
Tomorrow isn't built by dreamers. It's built by doers. Because progress doesn't work unless we do. So at Ameren, we've been hard at work putting energy to work for you. Adding underground cables, installing advanced switches and sensors, storm hardening poles and power lines, making the energy grid stronger today so it can meet your needs tomorrow. Learn about projects in your area at Ameren.com/energyfuture.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
From tidings of the same, how that in Bethlehem was born the Son of God by name. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. Oh, star of wonder, star.
Back Daily Show. Back with Lacy in the Time Machine 75 years ago. And before we go back into the article, which is a great one, and it's really fascinating just to see how medicine's come a long way, and really would just be interesting, and this is just where my brain goes, to talk to maybe somebody that is a breast cancer survivor from, before in the 50s and all that, and what that was like. Yeah. That's kind of fascinating. Genealogy and Local History is having an open house.
Yes, we're having an open house on Saturday from 11 to 1. So everyone is invited. We'll have all the decorations up. We'll have snacks, lemonade, cookies, stuff like that. Games from the Victorian era.
That'll be fun. What are Victorian era games?
Oh, I can't remember all of them. Renee Johnson puts everything together. She's amazing. She's one of my staff members at the Genealogy Library, and she does all this research to figure out what people are playing. I think that there's like a Nellie Bly game. I want to say something about like Around the World in 80 Days game. I don't remember everything, but they're really cool.
I loved that movie when Jackie Chan did it. Did you ever see that?
No, I haven't seen it.
That was
I haven't
a good
seen
one.
it.
But it really is. And while you guys are going to the Genealogy and Local History Libraries holiday open house from 11 a.m. to 1, bring your family and get your pictures for Christmas.
Yeah, you're going to come do your family picture, right?
I am. It's Stella's birthday that day, so we'll be going. We'll be going probably when you open.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when are you open?
We open at 8:30, so you can come in. The official, cookies and stuff will be out at 11, but 8:30 is when the library opens, and you can come take a picture.
I said I was going to be the first one this year. I want to be the first family of the inner photos.
Oh, okay.
Big deal.
Well, now you've told everybody, so you might have some competition.
No. Mary told everybody first. I want to throw that out there. I was going to keep it a secret until Beyond the Shelves segment hit, and she said, this is great for photos.
It really is.
Oh, man.
It really is.
That was my moment. I was the first one to take a picture in front of the Max guitar when it was lit.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I had my hands like this because I knew what I did. Know what I'm doing here. There's also going to be a time to enjoy decorations, create family history, crafts to take home. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Like what?
Again, Renee does all of this, and sometimes it's a surprise even for me. So I don't know what the craft is going to be this year. We've done picture frames before and cards, paper crafts. So I'm not entirely sure. It'll be a surprise.
And this will make me get some brownie points at home. You can also purchase your copy of the Alton ABC book, which is the most beautifully or graphically illustrated book I've ever seen. And I'm only not saying that because I live with the person that helped to create that book.
I thought so, yeah.
But it will be there. It really is a good book.
It is.
They all did a great job. But
they did.
Yeah. Really going to be fun. So 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on December 6th. I will be hopefully popping in there. I got breakfast with Santa with North Alton Godfrey that morning. And then we're going to have Estella's birthday party on the 6th, not in Alton. So we're going to go take Estella to Christmas. Uh-huh. Jackie's going to do the decorations and all the fun setup. And we will be reconvening in the early afternoon.
Got it. Oh, that'll be fun.
Hopefully.
Yes.
Time will tell.
And
then remember the local author book fair will be going on too. All right. Back to it.
Okay.
So what was your biggest takeaway of this article? What was your highlight of writing this? Because, it's obviously never a fun thing to write about. It's it's a serious disease. But whenever you get to talk about a nuance of something, or really just a way to kind of elevate or showcase how far, something's come is probably really cool too.
You know what? This wasn't really a depressing article to write because I was specifically writing about the film and how so many people knew that this was going to help a lot of women and keep a lot of women alive. Yeah. And it really helped me feel grateful for living in this time period and having the treatment and care that I've had. So it wasn't a sad article to write. I wanted to really do it justice. But it mostly just made me feel grateful. And, I really loved learning about the women that put this together. And I checked if Dr. Maybelle Williams was buried in Alton City Cemetery in case she could be a vintage voices person. She's a Valhalla, so that's no. But yeah, I get to know people that were doing things, like the women that brought the film to Alton and the various organizations. So, I mentioned two of them, but it also was at the YWCA during their Ladies' Day Out luncheon. Uh-huh. And then at St. Matthew's Church, they did a showing following an Altar Society meeting. And so hundreds of women in the area saw it. And it was being shown all over the country too. So it wasn't just here, but I like to think about all the people whose lives were saved because they saw this film and they were able to take their care into their own hands.
Absolutely. Well, Lacy, it's always great talking with you, and thank you so much for your time as always. We'll take a quick break. Daily Show at 1027 will continue after this one on Roku TV, Apple Podcasts, anywhere, everywhere you get the show. Oh, wait, no, I can't. I got to do my job. I do have work to do. Ameren, Illinois is a new sponsor of this show, and they're hard at work at putting energy to work for us. They're installing storm hardening power poles. They're even installing new advanced sensors, and they're rolling out mobile command centers to respond to storms quicker and get the power on faster. Coming up tomorrow, Ameren, Illinois will be back on the show as they talk to us about the latest improvements to Alton's grid and more that happens throughout the region. You can learn more at Ameren.com/energy future. That's Ameren.com/energy future.